In 2020, the National Museum of African American History and Culture published a chart on white American culture to help understand African American history better. After a brief controversy and removal, the museum reinstated the chart with added context about whiteness in America. Some misinterpreted it as claiming certain universal values were exclusively white traits. Of course, conservative critics responded on social media, arguing that these traits were simply American traits, or equating white culture or the idea of white culture with white supremacy. These reactions demonstrated both a misunderstanding of the content and revealed how many failed to recognize their own distinct cultural identity. So today I'm going to brief you on aspects of the white American culture. But why does this matter? To understand ourselves as Americans, we must first understand the white American culture, the dominant cultural force since British colonization that has influenced all other cultures in the U.S. Society often presents whiteness as the default standard of normalcy, though this perception perpetuates harmful biases that need to be acknowledged and addressed. We are socialized to think of white folks as just American. And this is a problem because it suggests that all other groups are foreign and less American, including Native Americans, as well as African Americans who've been here since Jamestown, and in some cases before. The U.S. is home to many different ethnic groups. The white American culture just happens to be the dominant culture. Culture manifests at various levels, from broad social norms to specific community practices. In other countries, ethnic identity supersedes racial identity, but within the U.S., people identify with race. Due to historical segregation, both legal and de facto, and the way society is currently structured, ethnic groups have formed based on race as well as ethnic identity in some cases. And this is just to show how much race plays a role in our society historically and presently. American culture would be the cultural elements found across communities, the things we share in common despite our ethnic identities or race, like mainstream music and foods the average American eats. But when you dive deeper, you start to see differences between the various ethnic groups. Culture is a complex system of shared beliefs, values, customs, behaviors, and artifacts that are transmitted from generation to generation within a society. It encompasses the ways of living built up by a group of people, including their language and communication styles, social practices and rituals, arts and creative expressions, knowledge systems and traditions, beliefs about what is right and wrong, food preferences and customs. Culture shapes our worldview, behaviors, and social understanding through both formal education and everyday experiences. As a dynamic system that evolves over time, culture guides social interactions and creates group identity. Rooted in British traditions, white American culture emerged from European immigrants assimilating into English American society. Rather than these cultures blending together, with each taking elements from the other and a new culture forming after several generations, European immigrants largely conformed to Anglo norms, as was expected, with only select cultural elements being adopted, mainly occasional dishes like spaghetti and hamburgers or holidays like St. Patrick's Day. But overall, white American culture today still closely resembles British culture, a testament to the strength and persistence of Anglo-Saxon cultural influence and a reflection of historical Anglo dominance. Today, you can visit regions of the U.S. with high concentrations of white Americans who share ethnic ancestry, such as Boston, New Jersey, and Minnesota, and see traces of European heritage. However, as time passes, these communities become less culturally distinct and more uniformly white American. Little Italy in New York, for instance, has transformed from a vibrant Italian-American neighborhood into a tourist destination, occupying just a fraction of its original size. Interestingly, the more prejudice a group faces, the more likely they are to maintain their ethnic identity and cultural differences. Throughout New Jersey, for example, Italian-American communities maintain their own distinct culture that differs from both modern Italian culture and mainstream white American culture. And because of prejudice, other groups have been unable to assimilate into white American society, therefore retaining their ethnic identities. We'll review other cultures within the U.S. in future videos. For now, let's take a look at some aspects of white American culture. The culture emphasizes individualism, personal achievement, and Protestant Christian values. Protestant values have influenced white American culture in ways that extend beyond religion, such as an emphasis on individualism and personal achievement, a strong focus on civic values and constitutional principles, a focus on modern, rational thinking, and skepticism towards superstitious beliefs. Many cultural practices also reflect this Protestant influence, including holidays that blend Christian and European traditions, most notably pagan traditions. Also, a strong civic religion centers on reverence for the Founding Fathers and constitutional principles like the Second Amendment. And I'll stop there on that note. Moving on, traditional gender roles and the nuclear family remain most influential, though evolving. Marriage customs reflect both religious values and changing social norms. The culture is patriarchal. Now, if you're white and view the patriarchy as problematic, this doesn't mean that you're not white American culturally. But this is to say that patriarchy has been present in your life in some form or another. Holidays blend Christian and European traditions together, including pagan traditions. But by the 20th century, holidays became less about tradition and more about commercialization and consumerism, which some refer to as Hallmark holidays. Food maintains Northwestern European influences despite global contributions. White Americans do eat dishes from other countries, but these dishes are largely Americanized and typically consumed in restaurants or made for special occasions. In white American households, the foods consumed most regularly tend to be influenced by Northwestern European preferences. Recognizing white American culture helps both white Americans and other groups understand societal dynamics. This awareness can foster cross-cultural understanding and promote inclusivity. While examining cultural traits may be challenging, acknowledging both positive and negative aspects lead to better understanding. White culture has contributed significantly to arts, literature, and technology, while also perpetuating systems of inequality that need addressing. For a more detailed outline of white American culture's aspects, check out the link in the caption and visit my blog. I often get negative reactions to the topic of white culture, but when someone listens to what I have to say, they usually stop being mad and find that they've gained new perspectives. And that's exactly my goal, to help viewers gain new perspectives and insights. Understanding white culture is crucial for creating an equitable society. By recognizing and discussing cultural differences openly, we can work towards greater harmony and mutual respect. Remember, in order to better understand ourselves as Americans, we must first understand the white American culture. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll do my very best to answer any questions in a timely manner. If you found this information helpful and useful, please hit like and share this video to help spread awareness. You can also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Until next time, take care and stay empathetic.